In Acts 13, verse 22, we hear that David is once again called a man after God's own heart. Now, I spoke with God about this, and I know that he was being very strategic when he went through the list of people in the Bible to decide who was going to be called the man after God's own heart. And when we look at the story of David, who happens to be my favorite character in the Bible, we see that he was not a very righteous doing person all the time. When he was on the run from King Saul, who was trying to kill him, he went to different towns and he just slayed entire cities and took their stuff for years, unsanctioned by God. There was no instruction in the Bible for him to be doing that. Then he lets his daughter get raped, does nothing. And then his son rapes all his wives in public in front of Israel. And then, and before that, he killed one of his mighty men to cover up a pregnancy that he had caused when he'd taken Bathsheba, from that man. So why is David a man after God's own heart? Well, when we read Psalms 39, we kind of get a glimpse at what David's heart was like. And David did not play about God. No matter what happened at the end of the day, no matter how much he did, no matter how much he strayed from the book of the law and was doing his own thing, at the end of the day, he rolled for God. And he did not allow people to talk badly about his God. And he never served another God in his life. He was sinful in nature. And earlier in our Saved by Grace journey, I brought up a verse where he said that his iniquities were great. He realized that his iniquities were monumental. And at the end of the day, he was like, what'd you say about my God, though? And in chapter 139, which I encourage you to read, he goes in and he talks about basically, God, your enemies are my enemies. And we see that in the fight with David and Goliath. When he goes to Goliath, he's like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? What is he saying about my God? And so at the end of the day, those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, because they have decided that Jesus Christ can save them. They have chosen their God. And so if you have chosen your God to be Yahweh, if Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, then you are his. And that's it at the end of the day. And he declares that you are mine. And that's just what it's going to be. And that's just what it's going to be. So you ride with God, he ride with you. And that's just it. And so that's actually one of the reasons why I love King David, because it could have been anyone else. He could have said, Elijah or Methuselah, or all these other people who have like a very short list of sins in the Bible could have been the man after God's own heart. But he chose David because David hated sin. He hated sin even as he committed sins. See, he had the heart of Christ. He hated sin even as he committed sins. And he was also never going to bow down to any other God. The end. And you see that also amplified when Solomon, his son, ends up giving offerings to another god, and God has to punish him, and he mentions it. He's like, your daddy never strayed from me at the end of the day. That was their relationship. And so as you are moving through this journey with Christ, remember, just ride with him, because he's yours. He gonna ride with you. If you have chosen him, he chooses you every day. I sometimes think about that meme where it's kind of like, it's not a meme, but that clip from that show where it's just like, that's my man and I'm gonna stand beside him. That's what God is saying to you. Through all your craziness, all the whatever sins you've committed, the ones you're doing right now, whatever you trapped up in right now, I'm gonna stand beside him, is what the Lord has said. I present my blood for all the sins that they're doing, because that person is mine. If this video has touched you at all, like, subscribe, pass it on, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, you have been saved by grace, not by your righteous actions at all. The end.